This story is about two neighbors born at war and the British strategy behind it. In 2 days from now, a number of protests and demonstrations are expected to take place in London. These protests coincide with India's Republic Day. So naturally, we know what's on the agenda. And we'll discuss that. But first, let me tell you and let me show you what happened the last time such demonstrations took place. Look very carefully at these images. This was outside the office of the Indian High Commission in London. Pakistani flags, violent clashes and vandalism. These visuals are from 15th August last year, India's Independence Day. 1 month later, there were similar protests. This time, the Indian High Commission building was damaged. The protesters pelted eggs, tomatoes, smoke bombs and even shoes. That's not all. They planted the flag of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir on a statue of Mahatma Gandhi. Who were these people? These were Pakistan-backed groups and pro-Khalistani elements. Now, another demonstration is being planned for the 26th of January, Sunday. Several Pakistan-sponsored groups will gather outside India House in London. That's what the Indian High Commission in London is called. 5,000 people are expected to join this agitation. They plan to burn copies of the Indian Constitution. And given how such protests have unfolded previously, India has conveyed its concerns to authorities in London regarding the safety of the High Commission office. Now, we have a letter from the London Mayor's office to Naveen Shah. Naveen Shah is a councillor from a constituency called Brent and Harrow. He has spoken about such Pakistan-backed protests in the past as well. Now, take a look at this. Here is what Sadiq Khan has written. Sadiq Khan is the Mayor of London and a man of Pakistani origin. Sadiq Khan's letter says, and I'm quoting, "Many have felt deeply threatened and worried. I would like to assure all Londoners that anyone who acts unlawfully on Sunday will be held accountable by the police." But at the same time, he says the power to ban marches lies solely with the Home Secretary. Who is the Home Secretary? Preeti Patel. So Sadiq Khan has passed the buck. Now we come to Preeti Patel. The Indian High Commissioner to London, Ruchi Ghanshyam, met Preeti Patel. We do not know what came out of the meeting. It appears the protests, though, will go on as planned. Now, I cannot help but say this. London authorities have clearly refused to learn any lessons, or perhaps they don't want to. This is not just another democratic protest. We have shown you in the past how people from all over Britain are paid and bussed into London for such events. Given such precedent, no country would allow protesters in such close vicinity of any foreign embassy. But British authorities will not even lift a finger. The same city which banned protests over climate change now says protests are against India are democratic. Protests are a democratic right. I'm talking about a ban on the Extinction Rebellion protests last year. This too happened in London. These, by the way, were peaceful protests. And what did authorities in England do? 1,600 demonstrators were detained for engaging in non-violent protests at London's Trafalgar Square. How many people do you remember being detained for damaging the Indian High Commission office in London? 4. Such was the accountability of the British government, and so stark are their double standards. They will clamp down on climate protests, but they will not stop Pakistani protests against India in London. Delhi has already raised its security concerns. He is hoping that Sunday will not see too much chaos and that London's authorities are up to the task this time.